my year 3 kind of report card for Shane Beamer to share with you. Okay, my year 3 report card. What Beamer is doing well and where he needs to improve. Okay, now, if you are a Gamecock fan, spread the gospel of offsides that this is very, very fair, especially if you actually believe it's fair. Spread the gospel. What Shane Beamer is doing well, number 1, culture building. Culture building, creating an atmosphere of accountability. You're not hearing of Gamecocks left and right running afoul of the law, of the program, late hits out of bounds, all of these things that plague the Will Muschamp team. He's culture building. He's got a team playing for nothing but playing with a lot of pride. That's culture, right? Number 2, he is recruiting well. Not so much significantly above the level of his predecessors. Pretty similar to the level of Will Muschamp, pretty similar to the level of Steve Spurrier, but he is exceeding them in the blue chip ratio. They've never hit the blue chip ratio. Beamer is hitting the blue chip ratio. Beamer is putting a super talented team together, okay? So the talent level is increasing by Shane Beamer. And number 3, all right, what he's doing is he's got the buy-in of the fan base, or the vast majority of the fan base. Believe me when I tell you this, I have learned this the hard way. You guys will defend Shane Beamer to the death. You will. You know, he is yours. He chose you. And even though he might be the crazy uncle, he's your crazy uncle, right? And because he chose you and has been loyal to you and he wants to be there, and you haven't had a long-term winning coach who truly wants to be there, you choose him day after ever-loving day.
It's friggin' Beamer.
What does Shane Beamer need to improve upon? I don't know. Start acting like the job title that you have. You're the CEO of Gamecocks football. In many cases, you act like a petulant child. Okay? Whining, got a bunch of miserable fans. We will celebrate Jacksonville State win like heck. Got a bunch of miserable people out here. Find some joy. Popping off at radio hosts. If you know of one he popped off at, please let me know. Like, he needs to start acting like a CEO. You know, the top 10 coaches in college football don't pop off at radio hosts. They're busy game planning. You know, the top 10 coaches in college football don't care about what other people think. I do a better job of not caring what other people think of me than what Shane Beamer does. I do a better job of that. How about that? The results. He needs to improve upon the results. A couple weeks ago, he was 17 and 17. 500. Now he's 19 and 17. Just because you like him doesn't mean you can ignore the results, right? And then number 3, assistant hires. Going into last week's game against Vanderbilt, Shane Beamer, his defensive coordinator Clayton White, had produced a defense that was 118th in America. 118th in the nation, my friends. Okay? Not going to get her done. Not going to get her done. Now, much better last week. You got a demoralized Kentucky coming into town. You've got a rejuvenated South Carolina playing at home in front of the home crowd. Alabama just threw the ball all over Kentucky a week ago. The spread of that Alabama game, by the way, was only, 10.5 points? And Kentucky was never in the game. You know, so Kentucky was thought to be an upper echelon SEC team, right? Or in the top half. And they showed themselves in that game to be a bottom half team. And if they're feeling down on themselves, going to South Carolina, yeah, when everything was clicking earlier in the year and when South Carolina wasn't, boy, Kentucky was much better on both lines. We'll see what it looks like on Saturday. I have a hunch that the wrong team just might be favored in that game. Kentucky is a narrow favorite. But for you guys, what do you make of it? Okay. I posted the graphic. It's on my Twitter page. What Beamer is doing well and where he needs to improve. Doing well is culture building, recruiting, and getting the fan base buy-in. Needs to improve upon acting like a CEO, results, and his assistant hires.